Chapter 12. Homework. Try these exercises for a week, and you will notice a positive change in your behavior. This chapter will also be sent to you as a PDF, so you can come back to it regularly to keep on top of your game. One problem per day. Every morning, select one problem that you want to work on during your spare time. Identify the different elements it is made up of for figuring out a logical solution to it. To put it simply, go through the following questions in a systematic order. What is the real problem? How does this problem obstruct your goals, purposes, and needs in general? Here are the steps that will help you in problem solving. Whenever it is possible, try tackling problems one by one. State the problem as precisely and clearly as you possibly can. Then study the problem to understand its nature. For instance, you will need to figure out the kind of problems that you can solve. Differentiate between those problems that you have control over and those that you don't. Learn to set aside those problems that you have no control over. Think of the information that you will need and actively start looking for the same. Analyze and interpret the information you gather and draw reasonable conclusions from it. Think of the different options you have, both long-term and short-term solutions. Once you know the options that are available, the next step is to evaluate all the pros and cons each of these options offer. Select an approach and follow it. Once you have implemented your plan of action, you can monitor the implications of the same. Depending upon how the plan functions, make changes as need be. Internalizing intellectual standards. Universal intellectual standards include clarity, precision, accuracy, relevance, depth, breadth, logic, and significance. Every week, select any one of these standards and try to increase your awareness of the same. For instance, you can focus on clarity for a week, then shift towards precision, and so on. If you are focusing on clarity, observe the way you communicate with others and see yourself if you are being clear or not. Also, notice when others aren't being clear in what they are saying. Whenever you're reading, see if you are clear about the content you have been reading. While expressing yourself orally or while writing your thoughts down, check whether there is some clarity in what you are trying to convey. There are 4 simple things that you can make use of for checking whether you have some clarity or not. Explicitly state what you are trying to say. Elaborate on it. Give examples for facilitating better understanding, and make use of analogies as well. So state, then elaborate, illustrate, and lastly, exemplify yourself. Maintain an intellectual journal. Start maintaining an intellectual journal wherein you record certain information on a weekly basis. Here is the basic format that you must follow. The first step is to list down the situation that was emotionally significant to you. It must be something that you care about, focused on one situation. After this, record your response to that situation. Try being as specific and accurate as you can. Once you've done this, then analyze the situation and your reaction and analyze what you have written. The final step is to assess what you have been through. Assess the implications. What have you learned about yourself? And if given a chance, what would you do differently in that situation? Reshaping your character. Select an intellectual trait like perseverance, empathy, independence, courage, humility, and so on. Once you have selected a trait, try to focus on it for an entire month and cultivate it in yourself. If the trait you have adopted for is humility, then start noticing whenever you admit that you are wrong. Notice if you refuse to admit this, even if the evidence points out that you are obviously wrong. Notice when you are becoming defensive when someone tries to point out your mistake or make any corrections of your work. Observe when your arrogance is preventing you from learning something new. Whenever you notice yourself indulging in any form of negative behavior or thinking, squash such thoughts. Start reshaping your character and start developing desirable behavioral traits while giving up on the negative ones. You are your worst enemy and can prevent your growth unknowingly. So learn to let go of all things negative. Dealing with your egocentrism. Human beings are inherently egocentric. While thinking about something, we tend to subconsciously favor ourselves before anyone else. Yes, we are biased towards ourselves. In fact, you can notice your egocentric behavior on a daily basis by thinking about the following questions. What are the circumstances under I favor myself? Do I become irritable or cranky over small things? Do I do or say something that is irrational in order to get my way? Do I impose my opinion on others? Do I speak my mind about something I feel strongly about? Once you have identified the egocentric traits, you can start actively working on rationalizing yourself. Whenever you feel like you're being egocentric, imagine what a rational person would say or do in a similar situation and the way in which that compares to what you are doing. Redefining the way in which you see things. The world that we live in is social as well as private, and every situation is defined. The manner in which a situation is defined not only determines how you feel, but the way you act and its implications. However, every situation can be defined in multiple ways. This means that you have the power to make yourself happy and your life more fulfilling. This means that all those situations to which you attach a negative meaning can be transformed into something positive if you want. This strategy is about finding something positive in everything that you have considered to be negative. Try to see the silver lining in every aspect of your life. It is all about perspectives and perceptions. If you think about something that is positive, then you will feel good about it. And if you think it's negative, then you obviously will harbor negative feelings towards it. Get in touch with your emotions. Whenever you start feeling some sort of negative emotion, ask yourself the following. What line of thinking has led to this emotion? For instance, if you are angry, then ask yourself what you are thinking about that caused the anger that you are feeling. What are the other ways in which you can view this situation? Every situation seems different depending upon your perspective. A negative perspective makes everything seem dull or bleak. On the other hand, a positive outlook does brighten things up. Whenever you feel a negative emotion creeping up, try to see the humor in it or rationalize it. Concentrate on the thought process that produced the negative emotion, and you'll be able to find a solution to your problem. Analyzing the influence of a group on your life. Closely observe the way your behavior is influenced by the group you are in. For instance, any group will have certain unwritten rules of conduct that all the members follow. There will be some form of conformity that will be enforced. Assess how much this influences you and the manner in which it influences you. Reflect on whether you are bowing too much to the pressure that is being exerted and whether you are doing something just because others expect it of you. One door shuts and the other opens. Take into consideration any negative moment in your life that has led you towards a positive outcome, an outcome that you weren't expecting. Make a note of these things every day. The gift of time. Time is precious. Spending time with someone is the best gift you can possibly give them. So this week, offer the gift of time to 3 different people. It can be in the form of helping them around the house, taking a person who's feeling lonely out for a meal, or even catching up with an old friend. These things must be done in addition to your other planned activities. Counting kindness. Keep a journal where you can write down the kind of deeds you performed in a day. Make a note in your journal before going to bed at night. The funny things. Each day, write about the 3 funny things that you have experienced all day long. Also, make a note of the cause of such a funny incident. Was it something you said, observed, or was it something spontaneous? Letter of gratitude. Think of someone who has had a positive impact on your life and write a letter of gratitude to that person. If it is possible, you can deliver it to them in person. The good things. Write about the 3 good things that you got to experience in a day. Also state the reasons why such things occurred. Making use of your signature strengths. Take a VIA survey. This survey will help you in finding your character strengths. Select your biggest strength and make use of it in a new manner. This is a daily task. If you aren't keen on writing things down, then consider discussing things with someone who is close to you. Talk to yourself about all the positive aspects of your life. Also, make sure that you have practiced the above-mentioned steps for at least 1 full week. Conclusion. I thank you once again for choosing this book and hope that you had a good time reading it. Neurolinguistic programming is a technique that aims at improving a person's life. It helps a person turn a favorable situation into an unfavorable one. The best part of NLP is that there is no failure. No mistake you can make can ever be wrong. It's just a stepping stone towards your improvement. Every mistake that you make acts as feedback that can then utilize to further improve your life. This makes NLP one of the best ways to improve various aspects of yourself. Every person has the potential to succeed in life. All we need is a little push to make us unlock this potential. This is where NLP comes into the picture. NLP is not a tough concept to understand. If you understand what the individual word stands for, then you will know how to implement it in your life successfully. You need not spend countless hours trying to perfect it. Just taking it up and practicing it daily will help you adopt it successfully. If you want to lead a happy life that's filled with positivity, then you need to adopt a positive mindset. Follow the simple tips mentioned here and make sure that you can maintain positivity forever. You need to understand that you determine your reality. You are the only one that has the power to decide whether your experience is positive or negative. You need to remember that you are the only one that creates limiting beliefs for yourself. You attract what you believe in. Positive psychology is about maintaining a positive outlook in life so that you can attract positivity. If you want to attract happiness, then you can think positive thoughts. If you want to achieve success, then you need to think about the successes and not the obstacles you might have to face. Use the law of attraction to attract positivity into your life. You need to create a positive morning ritual for yourself. Make it a point to spend the precious morning hours doing something productive and don't waste that time. More often than not, things don't necessarily go as planned. You might feel frustrated when your plans change or when things don't work in your favor. However, resistance doesn't change anything, and things just go downhill from there. When you start accepting what has happened, only then can you let go of all the unnecessary suffering. You must begin practicing acceptance. Understand and adjust yourself to the circumstance without any conflicting emotions clouding your judgment. You must live in the present because that's where everything happens, and it is the only place where you can experience happiness. Your past might be full of beautiful memories, but you cannot get anything from those memories. By living in the past or the future, you forget about the movement that you have in your hand. Your present is critical, and you must start living in it as well. Gadgets happen to be a significant part of our lives these days, and social media is an even more substantial part. Your online presence needs to go hand in hand with your offline life as well. Learn to live in the present, physically. It isn't about living in the virtual world all the time. It doesn't make any sense. Listening and hearing are two different concepts altogether, even though these words are used interchangeably. Listening is a conscious process where you need to pay attention. It helps in establishing a strong bond between people and assists you to live in the present. Therefore, it is an excellent source of happiness. You need to make a conscious effort to be more present while having a conversation with anyone. Money can help you in buying things, and worldly things will assist in making you feel momentarily satisfied. Why don't you try saving up to 6 months without shopping unnecessarily? You will be able to save a small fortune, and you can make use of that money to travel instead. Instead of filling your life with all sorts of expensive branded products, you must try to create beautiful memories that will make you feel happy whenever you think about them. Most of us tend to stop making friends when we start getting older. You must always be interested in meeting new people. It will help you in improving as a person, widen your horizons, and ensure that you have a lively social life. Try striking up a conversation with a stranger, and you never know, maybe you will end up with a new friend forever. Dreams provide you with the motivation to keep going. Therefore, always try to dream big. Your dream will assist you in finding the one thing you are passionate about. Let yourself dream and have sufficient faith in your ability to turn that dream into reality. You must always spend 5 minutes daily and step into your dream world. Start visualizing about the things that you want to do and how amazing you would feel once you achieve your dreams. Try making your visualization as real as possible, and it will increase your desire to work towards that goal. Does your present look anything like the future that you have been dreaming about? If not, spend some time and energy thinking about the various things that you can do for ensuring your growth. You don't have to do everything at once. Start by taking small steps, and you will ultimately reach your goal. If you want to lead a successful and happy life, then you need to make a conscious effort towards it. It takes some time, hard work, and effort to change the way you think, but the results will certainly make it worth your while. The steps and strategies mentioned in this book are all tried and tested and will surely help you get started with NLP. They will also help you stay with the practice. I wish you luck with your NLP endeavors and hope they bring you success. Lastly, if you found this audiobook helpful, please leave a positive rating on Audible, as it is greatly appreciated and keeps me being able to deliver high-quality audiobooks.